Call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock on the dot.
Mrs. Cochran?
Here.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Here.
Ms. Snyder?
Here.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Here.
Ms. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Ray?
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Over here.
Oh.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're looking first for a motion to accept minutes for May 15th, 2023 council meeting as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept minutes from May 15th, 2023, as presented and not read.
I'll second.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Sam. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Thank you. We're looking next for a motion to accept purchase orders from May 13th, 2023 to June 2nd, 2023, totaling $62,687.48 as presented and not read, please.
I'll make the motion to accept purchase orders from May 13th, 2023 to June 2nd, 2023, totaling $62,687.48 as presented and not read.
I'll second.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you, Laura. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Yes.
Okay, we're looking next for a motion to accept bills from May 13th, 2023 to June 2nd, 2023, totaling $699,429.03 as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept bills from May 13, 2023 to June 2nd, 2023 totaling $699,429.03 as presented and not read.
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, John. Any discussion, council? No? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Okay, we're looking next for a motion to accept April 2023 bank reconciliation report as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept April 2023 bank reconciliation report as presented and not read.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Thank you, and we're looking next for a motion to accept May 2023 DOPS delinquency report as presented and not read, please.
I'll make a motion to accept May 2023 DOPS delinquency report as presented and not read.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Kuntz?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move into the reading of ordinances and resolutions with our village administrator, please.
Resolution number 7266-2023, a resolution approving the village administrator to terminate Ryan Kennedy as a full-time laborer with the Department of Public Services. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, council approves to terminate Ryan Kennedy as a full-time laborer with the Department of Public Services effective immediately. Section 2, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7267-2023, a resolution authorizing the Village of Lakemore to enter into a stormwater maintenance agreement with Breaking Barriers Hope is Alive. Whereas the owner currently owns certain real estate currently known as Summit County Parcel Number 5402944, or the property, and plans to develop a portion of the property as commercial property. Whereas the owner will construct a stormwater management system consisting of the following facilities and consistent with stormwater best managed practices, or BMPs, cast iron storm grates and frames, catch basins, storm sewers, 100-year flow paths, infiltration basin, and features as set forth in the approved plans, or the plans, and as shown and described in Exhibit A attached here to, each a stormwater maintenance facility and collectively the stormwater management facilities. Whereas the owner shall own and be responsible for maintaining the stormwater management facilities. Whereas the village requires that the stormwater management facilities be constructed by the owner and adequately maintained by the owner. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio, Section 1, that the Village of Lakemore is to enter into a stormwater management agreement with Breaking Barriers, Hope is Alive. Section 2, a copy of the agreement is attached here to and incorporated herein as if fully rewritten. Section 3, that it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this resolution shall take full force and effect on and out after the earliest period allowed by law. Resolution number 7268-2023, a resolution accepting the quote from the Ohio Drilling Company to clean well 5 and repair the pump. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council accepts the quote from the Ohio Drilling Company to clean well 5 and repair the pump. Section 2, the estimate for these services is $35,290. The quote is attached here to and made part of as if fully written herein. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7269-2023, a resolution to create an on-the-job training program for the full-time laborers in the Department of Public Service to earn a CDL. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, and State of Ohio. Section 1, Council accepts to create an on-the-job training program for full-time laborers in the Department of Public Services to earn a CDL. Section 2, candidates must follow the following for the program. Minimum requirements stated in the job description for the Department of Public Service laborers position. Complete the CDL theory training through the ODOT LTAP program on their own time. Complete the behind-the-wheel and operating training during work hours. Complete all training and earn a CDL Class B within 6 months of their start date. More time could be provided at the discretion of the village administrator. Pay for obtaining of temporary license and completing the state-required testing out of pocket. Section 3, that it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 4, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7270-2023, a resolution approving the village administrator to apply for a Storybook Trail grant. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves the village administrator to apply for the Storybook Trail grant. The trail will span the length of the shoreline at Dodds Lakefront Park. Section 2, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council or any of its committees that resulted in such formal actions wherein meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure in the interest of the health, peace, and safety of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. Therefore, this resolution should take effect immediately. Resolution number 7271-2023, a resolution accepting the 2024 alternative tax budget for the Village of Lakemore. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council hereby accepts the 2024 alternative tax budget for the Village of Lakemore. Council further directs the fiscal officer to file on behalf of the Village of Lakemore the 2024 alternative tax budget with the County of Summit. Section 2, a copy of the 2024 alternative tax budget is attached here to and made part hereof as if fully were written herein. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect on the earliest period allowed by law. Ordinance number 1816-2023, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1795-2022, make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Lakemore, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, County of Summit, State of Ohio. Section 1, Council approves to increase appropriations in LFD EMS Donations Fund 2903, $500 for body armor vests for the fire department. Parks and Recreation Fund 2906, $300 for park equipment and supplies. Street Construction Maintenance and Repair Fund 2011, $15,000 for Hammondtree services on Fairdale and Michaels. Note Principal on Police Facility Fund 3102, $1 million for the renovation project. Water Operating Fund 5101, $35,290 for Ohio Drilling Company to clean well 5 and repair pump. Sanitary Sewer Operating Fund 5201, $10,800 for Hammondtree services on Fairdale and Michaels. Section 2, Council approves to transfer funds from General Fund to General Obligation Fund Retirement Fund 3101, $46,980 for the Series Note 2022 loan through Huntington for interim financing. Section 3, Treasury for payments from any of the foregoing appropriations upon receiving prop certificates and vouchers therefore approved by the board or officers authorized by law to approve the same, or an ordinance or resolution of council to make the expenditures, provided that no warrant shall be drawn or paid for salaries or wages except to persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. It shall be provided further that the appropriations for contingencies can only be expended upon appeal of 2/3 vote of council for items of expense constituting illegal obligation against the village for purposes other than those covered by other specific appropriations herein made. Section 4, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Therefore, this ordinance shall go into effect immediately.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Okay, we'll move that next into the mayor's report. And I want to remind everyone that the next Lakemore Food Pantry service night is Wednesday, June 28th, and that will be from 5 to 6 p.m. at Lakemore United Methodist Church. And then I wanted to tell everyone in the community, thank you so much for coming out for a wonderful and amazing Memorial Day parade. I'm sure others on council have things to add to that, if not others. But I specifically and especially wanted to say thanks to Tracy and John for setting up at the Triangle. It was a lot of work that morning. Thank you for that. Dustin Boswell and Emery Pittman and Nikki Kuntz for handling the lineup.
Oh, we're gonna do a better system next year.
No,
but-
you guys were good. You got it done. We had a lot more participants this year.
We just needed more help, that's it.
Yes,
So
and
next year, more
that's
help.
what Mrs. Cochran has a list to go
Yep.
through, and we will be meeting to talk about that. Of course, I want to thank the Army Navy Club in Lakemore for their participation in the parade and especially the memorial service, and Reverend Witt from Lakemore United Methodist Church for his prayer, Craig Madron for announcing, and it was just wonderful to have Ernie Cole and Ashley Fraley lead the band back in the parade.
Do you see that picture I got of you and Ernie?
No,
I'll
I'll have to
send
look,
it
but
to
I
you. It's a
think
good one.
I think the start time worked well. I think I've heard a lot of positive feedback on that. Well, we'll talk about that later as well, but I did personally hear so much positive feedback on the time and how much candy there was thrown that day and how many participants we had. And I want to say a special thanks to Laura Cochran for organizing the schedule and getting everyone where they had to be. She does a wonderful job every year of that, so thank you so much. And council, everyone for participating. It was a really great parade, wouldn't you say?
It
Yeah.
was one of the better ones we've had in a long time.
Oh, Summit, thank you. Oh, Tracy remembered the Summit DD came out and cleaned up. They did the Dodds Park and the
Oh,
triangle.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Aw.
That was before Julie broke her foot, so. Anyway, that was nice. That was real nice. And, well, I'll let council add to that as they see fit, but thank you, everyone. It was a beautiful parade. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so thankful to God for that and everybody here. Okay, Mrs. Cochran, you're up.
Well, one person that you forgot to thank that I'm going to mention
course.
is, well, everybody, we have a lot, but I'd like to thank Jill Kramer. Because she
Jill
comes
Kramer.
out every year.
And you.
Well, and helps me, I mean, we help each other, read off the list of the war dead from Springfield High School. And each of us has a relative on that list, and that's why we do it, and that's why it's kind of emotional sometimes for us. But I wanted to give her a shout out, because this is
Yes.
something that she really looks forward to every year, and does put her whole heart into it, so.
She does.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
And again, I also want to say I got welcome back to the band. It was awesome that they were there. So many people were excited about that. So we're glad to see them back. And I think it was like probably the biggest parade and the most people that I have heard from people that we have had in the, I don't even want to say how many years, but a lot of years. So. And then after that, I would just like to mention our next council meetings. So our very next one will be on Tuesday, June 20th. It's on a Tuesday this time because Monday is a holiday, Juneteenth. And our buildings, well, it's a holiday, so it's a federal holiday, will be closed, so we're not having meetings on that day. And after that, our next council meeting will be on July 3rd. That will be back to Monday schedule, and both of the meetings start at 7 o'clock, and it will be here at the community room at the high school. And that's all.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, thank you. Vicki, you're up.
Also, I just wanted to tag along with the Memorial Day Parade because it was the time. I think I got a lot of feedback too that it was a good time. People got to have the rest of their day. You know what I mean? So I think the time change was a good call.
Good move, right?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't so hot, and people got to do on with their day. So I think that was a good way to do it.
It got like 13, 14 degrees hotter
It was brutal.
that afternoon than
It was
the
brutal.
morning.
So yeah, I think the time was great, and so hopefully we can stick to that as a new tradition. But really, that's just thank you for everyone that came and participated, and that's all I have.
Okay?
And I'd like to thank everyone who took part in putting on the parade as well. It was a great parade, and I'm in favor of the time change too. So, and I wanted to, as always, thank Channel Spectrum 1023 for covering local government meetings, and they do other events as well. They cover, this month they have running the Springfield High School Senior Awards and Scholarships recognition. And they also have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and their blog. And they're also, have these meetings up on YouTube. And that's the Springfield Lakemore Community Channel, if you look for it on YouTube. And thanks again. That's what I have.
Thank you, Ann. What's the matter? You're up.
I'd like to thank everybody that took part in the Memorial Day Parade, and also if you want pictures, there's plenty of them posted on Facebook.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for
Oh.
getting so many good
Hundred-
pictures,
There's another
John.
person we forgot to thank.
Thanks, John.
I'd also like to announce that we are going to have a fishing derby on June 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, being sponsored by Lakemore Pit Stop, Pure Fishing, Fisherman Central, and Port Summit Rotary. Bring the kids out, let's do some fishing.
What
There'll be-
time again, John, I'm sorry?
It's from 9 a.m. to noon.
9 to noon, okay.
The guys are, everybody that's sponsoring is pretty hyped up and love fishing with the kids. So,
Fishing derby has been a really awesome
Yeah.
thing that we brought back.
Big hit.
It's getting bigger and bigger as we
Yeah.
keep doing it.
Oh, yeah. I'd also like to announce that the community garden, plots are still available, and we're gonna take applications up until June 16th. After June 16th, they will be planted with whatever my dad decides to plant.
They belong to
He's
him
chomping
now.
at the bit. We've already got one application that was actually handed to my dad down at the garden. But it's getting late in the year to be planting. He said, hey, if they either get it in or it ain't gonna happen, so,
I've seen him down there every day.
yeah.
Every day for the last, we love him.
Yeah, and then, tonight we got legislation, applying for the grant for a storybook trail. I will say, if you don't know what a storybook trail is, go out the Wingfoot, walk it and see what it is. It's awesome for the kids. It's like, you're walking through a book. There's pages of books, you read them, and then each one has something interactive that they want you to do. I don't know how often they change them, but I'm pretty hyped. And for it to go along the
It's so
lake will be just awesome.
Yeah.
And with that, we're also going to incorporate with the trail, very much like the Springfield side, the benches that go along the lake. We're gonna offer memorial benches for sale. It's gonna be, we're trying to figure out how many exactly we're gonna allow to be placed down through there, but they will be anchored, but the average in the range from $400, I would say $400 to $1,000
Yeah.
for the benches.
But John, they don't have to be just memorial.
No, they don't have to be memorial
Okay.
benches. I mean, I've seen some where they've done, basically veterans or,
Like the Army Navy Club.
yeah, Army
Lions
Navy Club sponsor,
Rotary.
if they want to sponsor it to Rotary, whomever, can sponsor a bench. The number has yet to be determined.
And that will be once we determine it, on a first come, first served?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not gonna be, hey, I wanna do this, let me order one, and then give me the money 110 years later.
Right, right.
So, and with that, I think I am done,
Thanks, John.
until later.
Heather, you're up.
Alrighty, one of the things, and I'm sure you forgot, so I'll throw it in if you wanna take over. I think the firemen at the parade, instead of having to do they weren't able to do the pancake breakfast like they normally do, so they did hot dogs and stuff this year, and a lot of people kinda liked that as well. And it was a great lead up to the time change for the parade, and it was, it was pretty good seeing a lot of people come out and support that as well. And it, might have even helped having the parade a little bit earlier so that people could come down and kinda, get the hot dogs and stuff to, have more people around. But, so that was, thank you everyone that did come and support that. I'm sure, speaking for the fire department, so I'm sure.
I
that
haven't
they-
had a chance to be down and talk to the chief or anybody.
I talked to him earlier today,
My
but.
work schedule's been a little
but-
hectic.
But not about that. But anyway, the next council workshop will be June 14th and June 27th, each at 6 PM. Oh, and I did remember someone that I think Rich forgot, and I don't know her name, the girl from the high school that sang the national anthem.
Yes.
She did a wonderful
She did
job.
great.
So.
I can't remember her name. Do you guys remember her name?
Shame on
Yeah,
me.
she did a really good job, so, we wanna thank her for doing that, so.
I know she's a majorette. I have it on my phone, but I'll just kind of roll back and get it.
Thank you.
All right, and, with that, take it away, Sam.
Sweet. So, first, I wanna say Happy Pride.
Happy Pride Month!
Happy Pride Month. And then, yeah, I mean, I didn't attend the triangle thing, but I did watch from my house and it was amazing. So you guys did awesome. Thank you for putting it on. And I know that we said that they were in the parade, but I do want to just congratulate Miss Fraley on being back here, because we weren't able to
Everyone's
say
so
the name
excited.
last council meeting, but I'm excited to have her back here. She's such a detrimental part to the kids here, and so hopefully with her, I mean, not only can we have a band teacher, but we can maybe still do some more shows and stuff, like we can get, I think Beauty and the Beast was the last performance that they had, so I don't know their budget, I know it's not great, but maybe they can piece together a couple cents and do some stuff, because I know that she enjoys it, and it's awesome to have her back here.
The kids
so.
are really they're really excited to have her back too.
I know.
Like really excited.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I'm
great
excited to
to
have her
see
back,
her.
and I graduated, a long time ago. But yeah, and then I just have a question, actually. You emailed us last week, is this sprinkler ban still in effect?
I never put one into effect.
Or-
I said
okay.
there was a potential.
Okay, just kidding.
So we're still kind of gathering data, but yeah.
Well, I'm
I-
gonna tell
I
my
can-
husband that it's still in effect, that way our water bill stays down,
Yeah.
so,
It's-
but never mind.
No, so that's one of the pieces of legislation. We have to have Hoe Drilling, which is the company that's drilled all of our wells,
Mhm.
come in. Well number 5, which is the newest, but it's also been in place for 12 years.
Right,
Has not been cleaned yet.
right.
And the pumps
And
need,
because we didn't want the stress on the others while
Right.
it was clean.
so
thought
we
about
shut
it.
number 5 down, with the increase in people watering their lawns and flowers, especially, which there's a lot of new residents in the new developments that they have to have grass. Our water consumption is about doubled, so
Yeah.
we're over the 350,000 gallon a day mark. So there is a possibility that we will have to enact a sprinkling ban.
Mhm.
Ohio Drilling's hoping to come out this week, which is, knock on wood, a blessing, because they don't usually ever get out that quick. But if they can get everything repaired, we get well 5 back in line, then we'll probably be good. But if people could try to reduce the amount of water they use, or try to use it not when everybody's coming home
Right.
for work, and
Gallons.
so.
I'm just gonna let my grass
Rain
burn
barrels.
naturally, we're just gonna let it good burn.
Yeah, rain
Replace it
barrels.
with like succulents and like pollinators.
Right,
Right.
rain barrels
Get rid of
are
the grass.
awesome. I did have a call from a resident along the lake asking if rain barrels are permitted. They are,
Encouraged.
for sure,
Encouraged.
encouraged. And if anybody wants a
We
rain
just
barrel,
need
I
rain.
can contact Summit County
Ooh.
and find out how you can go about getting them. Because they did have a program, but that was a long time ago. But I'm sure that she still has contacts.
Okay.
But those are a terrific way, especially if you have a garden.
We have
Can't
three,
say for sure your grass, but garden.
3 rain barrels, thank you,
They're awesome.
Nice.
for the garden.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We just need rain now.
Yeah, we just need,
I think that was it for me. Thank you for the clarification, and then just putting the bug in out there, just in case it does happen.
I appreciate that. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, along that, just, I wanna remind everybody, I don't know if it's been covered, just not rake or blow leaves and debris into the roadways or waterways. I mean, it's a pretty big dry spell that we have right now, but when it does rain, we don't want that to, pollute the lake that is doing so much better than
It
it was
is.
last year.
I know,
It
can we get an
is.
update on the lake, anything new?
So the Ohio satellite EPA imagery still
It's huge.
cannot detect any algae. Our fire department is gonna be going out hopefully this week to take samples to see, but right before we even put the units in April, the readings were in the teens, which 8 is what the federal EPA and now the Ohio EPA says that they want to see the algae limit at for recreational use. So,
And
It's
that
almost
has
there.
come down from the 60s, correct?
yes.
So
When we
even being in the
originally
low
took it,
teens,
yeah.
this is
That's a
wonderful.
huge
Had a
difference.
huge
Wow.
impact.
I think it's important to note and remind the public that, you know, the threshold was, I believe we were below the threshold before they decreased it to 8. Like we were, the quality is wonderful.
Right.
Matter of fact, I just was invited, there's a lady that lives right on the lake, and she invited me over for lunch today on the lake to say how beautiful it is, and that she knows she's gonna have her, you know, her boats out there. So I was really happy to hear that.
That's
because
awesome.
She comes down quite often to question us and talk about that. So it was really nice to, like,
Yeah.
that she recognized how
Yeah.
nice it is without like looking at the numbers. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, and along that, I mean, just because I was asked already, like, we're having the Derby, so that means that, like, it is safe to fish, and it's safe to do all that stuff in the lake.
It was always
When
safe.
we,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
when
just
we
wanna
had
clarify
the
since
other
there's so
fishing
many
derbies,
laps.
before we had those units in the lake, we did contact the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. And he said he would take his kids.
And the
We
health
have that in writing.
department, and the
Yeah.
health
We
department.
made
were all
sure,
there.
yeah, we
Yeah,
had
there
that.
was-
He said, listen, Lakemore, I take my kids
Right.
fishing there, you're good.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah.
And also,
Straight from the EPA.
you know, all these changes to the lake and how good it's doing, no chemicals.
Thank
There's
you,
been no
yes.
chemicals
None.
whatsoever put into that water.
Right.
Which people were pressuring us to
Science.
do.
Yeah, we were being
Right.
pressured, we had other people that were,
Is there any effect to the fish?
No.
We need more fishermen.
Yeah.
There's too many fish.
Yeah, so I could talk about that. Last year, I went to a meeting at Springfield Township with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, who invited his friend who is a professor at Ohio State University. Because like, you guys should be involved, you know, with the algae issue and all that. And Curtis from the ODNR said, we are. You know, we're out here, they do different testing for different kind of fish, different times a year, different years. But they had a huge amount of data they had been accumulating since the 70s that he could find. And one of the big things is every lake pretty much has algae issues right now, high algae issues. But as far as the fish go, he said that the fish in our lake are very healthy, but they quit stocking because there's so many that they aren't having the opportunity to grow. So we have tons of fish. And I was just down there with my granddaughters, and I heard fishermen talking about how excited they caught something that they hadn't caught in so many years. Maybe a perch.
probably, yeah.
I know, I seen
Perch
Ty
is pretty rare.
Clapp had posted a
That-
big old picture.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you see
That
those
he was so
fish?
excited he hadn't caught a perch in so many years and he caught one.
Took us
But
all years
ODNR
to
is
get here.
saying we need them to thin themselves out for
Yeah.
a while. So they're very healthy, and they were happy with this as opposed to the chemicals that we had been, you know, solicited by a couple different companies to use
Pressured.
chemicals that was gonna be hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, and they were not sure what the end result would
And
be
we work with the township
the
very
fish or
well.
anything, yeah, so,
We
yeah.
work with Springfield
So,
Township.
yeah, it's
and
great.
things are going well.
Yeah.
We need more fishermen out there to thin the population down so they can
Yes.
grow and get bigger.
So we get all the kids out there
And
fishing derby.
The animals are healthy. There's so many herons. Have you noticed how many
Oh
blue
my
herons
gosh,
there are?
there's
And
so
eagles
many
and an
down there.
osprey, yeah.
We have a lot of wildlife down there
Do we
right
still
now.
have the eagles?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
there's an osprey
Well,
family that
aren't
moved in.
they
Did you see
kind
them,
of
you
fitting
guys?
the herd
Yeah.
down there with the
Yeah,
They
fish?
are.
Maybe.
I love watching them fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
They're
it.
so happy. They're bringing their little buddies over to come eat. It's so wonderful. And then I don't know if Lynette told anybody, but there was this monstrous snapping turtle
Oh, really?
walking across the post office pavement the other day. It was huge. I mean,
Doing at the post office.
it was just it was in the it was like in the sun. It
Follow
was
the
like
creek, yeah.
could have followed the creek.
Probably,
Yeah.
Well, that
It
is
was
all really, really good news for
monstrous.
Lakemore.
Yeah.
That makes me really happy to
Yeah.
hear all that.
That's all I had.
And
Thank you.
Other than, yeah,
Is it a snapping turtle
Yep.
that children, should know to?
Yes. Stay away from the wildlife. I mean, there's
They'll learn.
we found out,
That's how I learned.
yeah.
right. Yeah.
The lake level is low though.
I
but
learned
that's
4
just-
times.
At what point, is it at the 8, will be signs for the risk, is that will be
Once we
removed
hit
and-
that 8, I'll contact the Ohio EPA for the surface water and ask them. And we've.
We're going that
and
way.
We've been, yeah, and we've been working with, like I said, Springfield Township, and we've kind of been going back and forth for taking samples, and so we've both sides have agreed that that would be the next step. Then it's an official statement, because they might say, oh, have EnviroScience come out and take really in-depth, just to
Right.
make it
Cover the
concrete,
bases, yeah.
Right.
and then at that point,
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, because I think one of the important things is like what Rich said with the level that it was last time, we were within what the old
Right.
Yeah.
number was. And it was what, 3 years ago that they lowered it to the 8?
Yeah,
So even 3 years ago, we would have been okay.
right.
But since they lowered it to the 8, now that's our target.
Right.
And that was statewide, that wasn't
That's
just for.
federal.
Federal
for
one,
federal.
yes,
Yeah.
countrywide.
I
So
meant
what
federal.
you're saying is
No.
we're cleaner than ever before.
Yeah.
We're getting there, yeah. For
About,
sure.
yeah.
It'll
'cause we
be
would've
a
been-
really nice day in Lakemore when we can all go down and take the signs down. We should do it like have a party and
Oh,
take
for
the signs
sure.
down
For
together.
sure, have an
you
ice
guys
cream
have worked
party.
so hard. Tracy has worked so hard.
For sure.
We all have been.
For sure.
Everyone's been working hard.
Okay.
You finished? That was a whole hell of a
Yeah,
load.
but
Yeah, that was a
The
lot.
lake level is low,
Yes.
Yeah.
but because we haven't had any rain in a long time, so.
Evaporation's a thing.
Right.
It's been
It
hot.
evaporates way faster than it precipitates,
And it's been so hot.
So hopefully,
Why?
yeah, so I'm sorry if anybody's having trouble with getting their boats in and out. Our launch is still pretty good though.
Yeah.
And we don't charge
I was gonna
still,
say.
so,
Come over here.
yeah, so yeah.
Come on down.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Come to
especially since
Lakemore.
we're not charging anyways, but,
So lots of good things happen.
Yes.
that's just part of the
And
thing.
I just had a couple more thank yous. The police and fire departments from Lakemore for the parade.
Yeah.
And the fire department and police department for all they do to keep us safe and well. We had a very rough fire here just last week in Lakemore, and
Both
just-
chiefs, I think they worked the entire holiday, from the beginning of the parade through the parade, and I think they both worked after the parade until
Mhm.
late in the evening.
Yeah.
For
We're
shift
lucky to have them.
changes. We're very
We're lucky to have them. And
Yeah.
1023, thank you for covering the parade. It was,
Yeah.
you were out there in the sun and the heat and.
They were setting up when we were setting up.
Yeah, like Ann says, we appreciate all you guys do. You're a blessing to the community as well. Thank you guys. All right. Where are we here? So-
Hearing before council.
You got more?
Anybody,
Nothing.
Sam?
Nope.
Nobody? Okay.
I would like to introduce a new resident here. He's never been to a council meeting, I don't think, right?
Hi.
First one, so.
So you came to a cleanup day,
Yes,
right?
you did, and he got your
And-
saplings.
And for the,
I know.
when he got trees.
So when I ran
Nice.
into him, I said, come to the next council meeting. So welcome to the village. They've been here. They came from Canada.
Yep.
Isn't that so cool? All the way from Canada.
Lakemore
Just
is
to our
better than
village.
Canada, can we say that? It's better than Canada.
Oh, thanks for saying that.
You should talk to him later.
Get that smile on camera. Get that smile on camera.
We
Just-
talked to him and his wife when we were passing out the seedlings.
I know when he told me, I was like, oh, you got some from Tracy. I know she was so happy you took some.
I asked him if they would, like foster them. There you go.
Nice.
They were
This
try-
big now,
Yep,
so
that's
it's
awesome.
grown a little bit.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
Well, welcome to the village. We're really happy
Yes.
to have you here, all the way from Canada. He called Lakemore a hidden gem.
It is a hidden gem.
It is a hidden gem.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Perfect.
Not no more now that you've announced it, Nikki.
On TV.
Oh my God.
A
Okay.
little late now.
All right. Nobody appearing before council. We're going to segue into new business. Mr. Strittmatter, you have 4 items. Are they all, well, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Four with emergencies. Take it away, and then Ms. Anderson, Heather, would you just follow up when he's finished with this?
Okay,
Please, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7266-2023, a resolution that approves the village administrator to terminate Ryan Kennedy as a full-time laborer with the Department of Public Service. But first, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes,
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thank you, Heather. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 7268-2023, a resolution accepting the quote from Ohio Drilling Company to clean well number 5 and repair the pump. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with 3 reads.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thank you, Heather. Any discussion?
Just like to say that within this estimate is a high estimate, and it may not reach that amount of money. Just, but they always
Fingers
estimate it to
crossed.
the high side
Yeah.
in case something needs to be repaired or actually replaced.
Yeah.
So, just want to make that clear.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Just appreciate them coming out on such short notice. They
For
were pretty
sure.
Swift, right?
Yep,
So-
thanks, Sam. Yep, any other discussion? Laura, Nikki, Ann, no, Heather, no? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 7269-2023, a resolution to create an on-the-job training program for full-time laborers in the Department of Public Service to earn a CDL. But first, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thanks, Sam. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to adopt resolution number 7270-2023, a resolution approving the village administrator to apply for the Storybook Trail Grant. First, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with 3 reads.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Both, pick one.
I know.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
I'll second the original.
Thank you, Heather. Any discussion?
Just that, I hope we get this.
Let's
It's
hope we get it.
This is gonna be cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it is, then go to Goodyear Park and just walk.
It's at
around,
Wingfoot.
'cause they have, or yeah,
Goodyear
Wingfoot.
Wingfoot Park.
Yeah, Wingfoot.
Well, it used to be Goodyear Wingfoot.
you can see Goodyear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Heather, you're up.
All right. I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution 72,
No.
70.
1860.
1816.
Oh, this is the first read. Okay, yeah, all right. I'll be with it shortly. Okay, so yes, adopt ordinance number 1816-2023, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1795-2022, make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Lakemore, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. But first, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
I can second the original.
Thanks, Sam. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any reason to move into executive session, council? No?
I'm not aware of any.
Sam, Heather, John, and
No.
Nikki? No? Okay. All right. What's
Then I'll
next?
make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Laura.
I'll second.
Thank you, Heather. Any discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Oh, did-
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Ms. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Strittmatter?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
We can
There's
go
a,
now.
there's
We,
a.
yeah, we can talk to you now.
Yeah, it's over.
Now that it's over.
But there's
we
a
can talk.
section where anyone can talk at the podium, and that.